The rain drummed against the windows of the coffee corner as Daniel Reed sat at his usual table, reviewing quarterly reports on his tablet. At 38, he'd built Reed Industries into a tech empire, making his first million by 25 and his first billion by 32. His tailored suit probably cost more than most people's monthly rent, and his watch could have paid for a decent used car. He valued efficiency, predictability, control. That's why he came to this particular cafe every Tuesday morning. Same time, same table, same order. Black coffee, no distractions. "Excuse me, mister?" Daniel looked up, irritated at the interruption. A little girl stood beside his table, maybe 4 years old, with blonde braids tied with pink ribbons and shoes that had seen better days. She clutched a stuffed rabbit that was coming apart at the seams, one ear hanging by a thread. "I'm busy," Daniel said curtly, returning to his tablet. "Please, mister, can you fix my toy?" The girl's voice trembled. It was our last gift from Dad. Something in those words made Daniel pause. He looked at her again, really looked this time. The rabbit was old, well-loved, its fur worn smooth in places from countless hugs. The girl's coat was clean but patched at the elbow. And her eyes, too sad for someone so young. "I don't fix toys," Daniel said, but his tone had softened slightly. "Where's your mother?" "Over there." The girl pointed to a woman at a corner table, hunched over a laptop, clearly stressed. The woman's clothes were as worn as her daughter's, and she had the exhausted look of someone working multiple jobs. "Does she know you're bothering strangers?" "I'm not bothering. I'm asking for help. Mommy says it's okay to ask for help when you need it." The girl held up the rabbit. "His name is Floppy. Daddy gave him to me before he went to heaven. But he's breaking, and Mommy cries when she sees him because we can't afford to buy a new one. And I don't want a new one, I want this one. Because it's from Daddy." Daniel felt something crack in his carefully constructed walls. "When did your dad die?" 6 months ago. He was a soldier. Mommy says he was very brave." The girl's lip trembled. "I'm trying to be brave too, but Floppy is breaking and I don't know how to fix him." Daniel set down his tablet. He'd never fixed a stuffed animal in his life. He'd never had children, never planned to, too messy, too unpredictable. But looking at this little girl with her broken rabbit and breaking heart, he found himself unable to say no. "What's your name?" "Lily." "Okay, Lily. I can't fix Floppy myself, but I know someone who can." Daniel pulled out his phone and typed quickly. "Give me 1 minute," he called his assistant. "Margaret, I need you to find me a toy repair specialist, the best one in the city, someone who can fix a stuffed animal. Today. Price is not an issue." "Yes, I'm serious. I'll explain later. Text me the address." Lily watched him with wide eyes. "You have a phone that calls people who fix toys?" "I have a phone that calls people who can find people who fix toys," Daniel corrected with the ghost of a smile. "It's almost as good." His phone buzzed. Margaret had found someone, a woman who specialized in restoring vintage toys and stuffed animals, 40 minutes across town. "Lily, I need to talk to your mom." Daniel stood, and Lily grabbed his hand trustingly, leading him to her mother's table. The woman looked up, alarm crossing her face as she saw her daughter with a stranger. "Lily, I told you to stay where I could see you. It's okay, Mommy. This mister is going to help fix Floppy. I'm sorry, she shouldn't have bothered you." The woman started gathering her things, clearly embarrassed. "She didn't bother me. I'm Daniel Reed. Your daughter asked me to fix her rabbit, and I found someone who can do it professionally. There's a toy restoration specialist across town. If you're willing, I'd like to drive you both there and have Floppy repaired today." The woman stared at him. I can't afford. I'm not asking you to pay. Consider it a favor, one that costs me nothing but costs you and Lily a great deal if Floppy continues falling apart. I don't accept charity from strangers. It's not charity, it's..." Daniel paused, searching for words. "It's gratitude. Lily reminded me of something I'd forgotten. That seemed worth acknowledging." The woman looked torn between pride and practicality, between protecting her daughter and accepting help they desperately needed. "Please, Mommy?" Lily held up Floppy. "His ear is almost off." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "Okay. Thank you, Mr. Reed. Call me Daniel." The drive across town was unlike anything Daniel had experienced. His luxury sedan seemed absurdly large, with Lily buckled in the back, chattering about Floppy's adventures and asking Daniel questions with the relentless curiosity only children possess. "Are you married? Do you have kids? Why are you wearing such a fancy suit? Is it uncomfortable? Do you have to wear it every day? What do you do for work? Have you ever been to Disneyland?" The mother, Sarah Martinez, Daniel learned, kept apologizing, but Daniel found himself oddly charmed by Lily's directness. "I'm not married. No kids. The suit is comfortable once you get used to it. I run a tech company, which means I solve problems using computers. And yes, I've been to Disneyland, though it was many years ago. Did you meet Mickey Mouse?" "I did. Was he nice?" "Very nice. I want to go to Disneyland someday. Mommy says when we save enough money, but that might take a really long time." Sarah's face reddened. "Lily, that's private." "It's okay," Daniel said quietly. At the toy repair shop, they met Clara Chen, a woman in her 60s with gentle hands and a workshop that looked like a magical hospital for injured toys. She examined Floppy with the seriousness of a surgeon. "This is good craftsmanship. Handmade, if I'm not mistaken. The stitching suggests someone put real love into making this." Clara looked at Lily. "Can you tell me about Floppy? My daddy made him. He learned how to sew in the army because soldiers have to fix their own stuff sometimes. He made Floppy for my 3rd birthday, right before he had to go away again." Lily's voice grew small. "He said Floppy would keep me safe when he couldn't be there." Clara's eyes misted. "Then we'll make sure Floppy can keep protecting you for a long, long time. I'll need about 2 hours. Can you wait?" Daniel checked his watch. He had a board meeting in 90 minutes. He should leave, send his driver back for them, return to his predictable, controlled life. "We'll wait," he heard himself say. Those 2 hours changed everything. Daniel took Sarah and Lily to lunch at a nearby cafe. Nothing fancy, just burgers and fries. Lily told him stories about her father, how he'd taught her to ride a bike, how he'd read to her every night when he was home, how he'd promised to teach her to fish but died before he could. Sarah opened up too, slowly. She'd been a nurse before, her husband deployed for the final time. After he died, the medical bills from his final weeks combined with funeral expenses had wiped out their savings. She'd lost their house, moved into a small apartment, and was now working 2 jobs. Medical billing during the day, cleaning offices at night, while trying to finish her nursing degree online. "Lily stays with my neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, when I work nights. But sometimes I worry I'm not there enough, that she's growing up without either parent really present." Sarah's voice broke. "Today was supposed to be my morning with her before my evening shift. I was trying to work on a big project while she played, and I didn't even notice she'd wandered off to ask a stranger for help." "She's fine," Daniel said. "And you're doing an incredible job under impossible circumstances." "Am I? Her rabbit is falling apart. We're barely making rent. And I can't even afford to take her to Disneyland." Sarah wiped her eyes. "My husband died serving his country, and this is what we got. Debt, struggle, and a 4-year-old who asks strangers to fix toys because her mother can't afford it." Daniel was quiet for a moment. Then he made another call. "Margaret, clear my afternoon. Reschedule the board meeting. I don't care what they think. Something more important came up. Also, I need you to research military family support programs. I want a full report by tomorrow, because I'm realizing we need to do better." He hung up and looked at Sarah. "I want to help, not with a handout, but with real support. Can I ask you some questions about what you and Lily actually need?" Over the next hour, Daniel learned more about struggling military families than he'd ever known. Sarah explained the gaps in support systems, the bureaucracy that made accessing benefits nearly impossible, the way families fell through cracks because resources were stretched too thin. "What if there was better support?" Daniel asked. "Not government programs, but private funding that could move quickly, help immediately. That would change everything," Sarah said quietly. "But those programs don't exist. Or if they do, they're oversubscribed and underfunded. Then we'll create one." Daniel was already making notes on his phone. Reed Industries can establish a foundation. Military family support, immediate assistance, no bureaucracy, focused on practical needs like housing, childcare, education, and yes, things like toy repair that might seem small but mean everything to a child. "You're serious?" Sarah stared at him. Completely. You and Lily showed me something this morning. Showed me that success means nothing if you're not using it to help people who actually need it. Daniel looked at Lily, who was carefully coloring on a kid's menu. My company makes billions helping people connect digitally, but Lily reminded me that real connection, real help, is simpler than that. It's fixing a broken rabbit because it matters to a child. It's seeing people, really seeing them, instead of just walking past. When they returned to Clara's shop, Floppy was transformed. The ear was reattached, the seams reinforced, the worn patches carefully restored. He looked almost new but retained the character of a well-loved toy. Floppy! Lily hugged the rabbit tightly, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Clara smiled. He should last many more years now. I reinforced all the weak points. He's ready for whatever adventures you two have ahead. Daniel paid the bill, $300 for expert restoration, without blinking. As they walked to his car, Sarah tried one more time to thank him. You don't understand what this means. Not just Floppy, but everything you said about helping. You gave us hope. You gave me purpose, Daniel countered. I've spent 15 years building wealth without thinking about what it's for. Lily asked me for help this morning, and I realized I've been so focused on making money that I forgot money is just a tool. What matters is what you build with it. 6 months later, Daniel stood at a press conference announcing the Reed Foundation for Military Families, a $100 million endowment focused on immediate practical support for families of active duty and fallen service members. Sarah Martinez stood beside him as the foundation's Director of Family Services, using her experience to guide programs that actually helped. The foundation had already assisted over 300 families with housing, childcare, medical bills, and education. They'd even launched a Last Gifts program, helping preserve and repair meaningful items that connected families to lost loved ones. After the press conference, Lily ran up to Daniel, Floppy clutched in her arms. Guess what? Mommy says we're going to Disneyland next month, for my 5th birthday. Is that so? Daniel knelt down, and she says, You're coming with us, because you're part of our family now. Lily hugged him fiercely. Daniel looked over her head at Sarah, who smiled and shrugged. She's not wrong. You changed our lives, Daniel. The least we can do is let you meet Mickey Mouse again. Daniel felt tears in his eyes, something that would have been impossible 6 months ago before a little girl with a broken rabbit had asked him for help and reminded him what actually mattered. I'd be honored, because sometimes a 4-year-old asks a millionaire to fix her toy, and in the process, fixes something broken in him. Sometimes the people who have the least teach the people who have the most what wealth really means. Sometimes a stuffed rabbit becomes the bridge between a world of privilege and a world of struggle, showing that the distance between them is smaller than we think. Just one moment of genuine connection, one choice to help instead of walk away. Daniel Reed still wore expensive suits and ran a billion-dollar company, but now he measured success differently, not in profits but in floppy-shaped miracles. In families helped, in children who could keep their last gifts from parents who'd given everything. All because he'd said yes when a little girl asked, Mister, can you fix my toy? The answer had fixed so much more.